What is up, beautiful people? Hi, my name is Jared A. Brown, and I am going live now to interview and really just kind of hobnob, rub shoulders, and talk with my twin brother. Okay, so
Woo!
Jared A. Brown, and I live in Hooper, Utah. It's about 40 miles north of Salt Lake City, Utah. And I've got my twin brother who lives in Abu Dhabi, all right, in the UAE. All right, so I'm going to bring him on and we're going to talk about it's side hustle talk, all right, how to make money online over 40 years old. Talk about freelancing, digital marketing, ghost commerce, woo, and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to bring him on. What is up? What is up? Boom, boom, boom.
Boom!
That's right. Double
What's up?
trouble.
What's up? What's
So, anyway, if you're watching this live or on a replay, um, please type type it in, drop a comment, live or hashtag replay. All right. And if you are watching this either live or replay, which are really pretty much the only two options, then let, you're not seeing double. Okay. Don't try to switch or adjust your monitor. All right. We're twins. All right. Deal with it. All right. You're going to see double for a little while. All right. So I'm Jared Brown. This is my twin brother, Jeff Brown. Uh, we've been we've been brothers since the womb. All right, and I'm in I'm in Utah in the USA, and he's in the UAE in Abu Dhabi. So time difference, but
yeah? It's
nonetheless,
10:18 p.m. here.
yeah. And it's 11:17 a.m. where I'm at. So we've got a bunch of snow. Snowed last night a little bit, not too much. So we've got snow on my lawn. I'm looking out my window right now, and I can see snow. And where
Wow.
you're at, it's a big contrast because you don't have snow. So we've
I
got some
know.
differences.
I miss seeing the snow in the wintertime, actually. I miss seeing it, but I don't miss it in general, For about
Right, right.
I don't miss shoveling the snow. I don't miss
I don't,
freezing. I don't miss,
I don't blame you.
shivering, but I miss seeing the snow.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it in December when it's in around Christmas time, and because it kind of gives you that same sort of feel. However, when it's now January, it's not my favorite thing, and hardly ever really enjoy driving in it, and shoveling it,
Who does?
not so much, right? So I use a lot of ice melt, and it's the good ice melt, the stuff that isn't made of all that salt, so it's not damaging my driveway or sidewalk, of course. But I tend to use a lot of that, so it it makes my shoveling easier. So I'm hoping we share this, or if you can't now, that maybe Ollie will see it, later. Maybe check us out later. But that'd be cool if he could see us.
Right.
What's the
So
time difference between you and him? Like maybe 5 hours?
no,
Almost
it's
like.
he's 3 hours ahead of me in
Oh,
Thailand.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's not too bad then. It's kind of like
Right.
when you lived in Hawaii, there was about a 3 hour difference, something like that.
Exactly. Except for
Yeah.
I was the other way behind you.
Right.
Other
So, yeah, we've got the weather. I've got something I posted on my Facebook reels that's pretty excited about. So it's a Facebook reel that I made it with was it Vinkle or Tempo, one of those apps, and it has like the minions on it, and they're putting together. They're like adjusting, modifying a big photo, and the photo is of me standing by my wife, and it's her master's degree graduation ceremony, and
hmm
then they make some adjustments, and then all of a sudden this paint gets splattered on it, around a frame. They take the frame off, and you can see the paint just around me and her on the
does
photo.
it with the pink outline, speckled outline?
Yeah, after they take the frame away, you can only see the paint around us because they,
Right. Yeah.
splattered the paint. Anyway, so it's, and then I've listed how I'm proud of her, and I'm kind of, you know, putting on. I think my verbiage is: Are you building lasting memories? What brings you joy? Something like that. So, anyway, so I'm kind of excited about that Facebook reel. So, if you haven't seen it, please go to it and visit. Play. It's a short video. I think it's maybe only 9 seconds long, and watch it. It's it's a good photo of the two of us, and it.
Awesome.
I always like using photos or videos that kind of help people see me. You know what I mean? Like whether it's
Exactly,
you and I,
because
you know what I mean?
you want people
To
to
get
get
to
to
know
know
me.
you and identify
Yeah,
with you.
right. So that people understand that, they can see my
So
facial
you
expressions and
you went into the dentist the other day, man.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right? So if you don't
Uh-huh.
mind, let me tell this story because your follow up to that dental appointment, well, the announcement of the dental appointment was hysterical, right? So I mean, you tell the story better than I do. But so when we were young, and I'm thinking like eight between 8 and 10 years old.
Right.
Uh, so you had a really bad toothache, an excruciatingly bad toothache, right?
Oh, it was. It was bad. Yeah.
And so mom took us into the dentist the very next morning early, and she took us and for all intents and purposes, I think we just always went together everywhere, right? Because I don't think there was an appointment already, was there?
No, we hadn't. I think mom made an appointment after I had spoken with her, but we didn't have one.
Okay,
We hadn't gone to the
before
dentist
your
in a
toothache,
while. Right.
but you didn't have one
Before
before
my
your toothache.
no,
Okay.
no, no, yeah. And you know, and uh, and it's not like we enjoy going to the dentist, right? Kids never do. So it's not like I,
No.
you know,
I mean, there's a reason why the dentist gives you a sucker afterward, you know?
right. So it's not like I just told her because, oh wow, we get to go see the dentist. This is going to be fun. So it legitimately was giving me pain. It was a really bad toothache, so it was real.
Right. Okay. So you got up there on the dentist chair. The dentist, opened your mouth, put that mirror tool in your mouth,
Yeah, whatever.
and totally
Yeah, but
inspected your mouth for cavities or
he
whatnot.
got up all in there. He got up all in
And
there.
he
Yeah,
the light and the mirror, and after his inspection, he didn't find anything. Right.
right. He didn't find anything.
All right. So then I get up on the dentist chair, and this is a true story, by the way, folks. It's a twin story, man. And we've got a number of them, but this one is pretty vivid and clear in our minds. So I got up there, and the dentist checked my mouth out and teeth, and found a key exactly where Jared, my twin brother, had the toothache.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon
So
as
the reason why
his
I'm bringing this up is because he was supposed to have a root canal done the other day, and he said, "Don't worry, you're not going to feel any pain for this."
yeah, don't fret, don't worry. There's no pain involved. You're not going to feel this. So
That's good. Canals can be pretty painful.
that's
Injections they give you and all that, but
especially afterwards,
numb the
right?
pain.
And yeah, I mean, my even with them, doing all that they did to inspect and everything, even when they do that, you're left with having some pain just because you're not your mouth's not used to that, and so I had to take ibuprofen afterwards, but it's one of the strangest twin stories that you and I have. But of course, we had other, stories because when we were kids, because of our age, we didn't have cell phones back then, right? And so it was always our home phone. And if somebody called our home phone and we just grabbed it, and and let's say I didn't look at the caller ID and I just grabbed it, then if it's, if it was Marla or somebody else or even Mike Child for the most of the time he could tell us apart by our voices, but every now and then people couldn't tell our voices apart. You know what I mean? They,
Yeah,
they
I wonder if that's the case now.
That's a very good point. So if anybody's watching this again, whether it be live or replay, hashtag that, but give us a comment. Obviously, we're not young little kids
Young
anymore,
bucks
but
anymore.
yeah, we're not little tykes. But let us know how identical do we look? How similar do we still look as twins? And do our voices sound similar? Let us know. Drop a comment because it's he and I always we we see it differently because, and I think that people that see us every day or regularly, they can see the differences. But for him and me, we look like brothers. I mean, well, obviously
Yeah.
we look like we're
Well,
brothers,
we
but
never really saw us as identical twins. And we never saw us as that.
yeah, again, that may be just because we see
We
each
sound
other and
strange.
right. We just see each other every day. We see the differences. And so we've never seen us as like clones. But anyway, so the other thing, obviously, and we talked a little bit about this on the other live broadcast that we did together, but on TikTok. But you know, our mom, bless her heart, God bless her, God rest her soul, she used to dress us up in identical clothes. So that was okay when we were, maybe 4 or 5 or even 6. But when we got a little older, even like maybe 10 or 11, it started to get a little bit old. And
I
no,
know.
by no, by no means did we want to do that when we were teenagers. We wanted to get our own little identities, of course. But
Right.
anyway,
And maybe heaven forbid our own Christmas presents or birthday gifts.
right. Something a little bit more personalized than just the boys or the twins, instead of becoming just one entity. But at any rate, so if you don't know us, okay, we're twins. Okay, deal with it. I'm Jared Brown. This is Jeff Brown, and we've started freelance digital marketing, affiliate marketing. There are some people that are even calling a variation of that ghost commerce. It's not
I haven't
scary. Don't
heard that
worry.
one before. That's new to
Yeah,
me.
ghost commerce. So the recently Jeff has had some success on some other social media channels, and you gave me, although I've had on a separate YouTube channel for my when I had been doing kidney donor advocacy for kidney disease patients. My channel had over 500 subscribers, and I was used to using key tags and keywords and so on and so forth. But it was a little bit difficult starting all the way from scratch again for me, on a
Right.
brand new YouTube
It,
channel.
it always
And
is, and
yeah,
it's a bit scary too. It's like when you start especially YouTube, but if you start anything brand new, you go into it like, how am I going to do? And you don't know exactly what's going on, and you kind of lose the bravery or the courage you had before.
right. So, and when I did that, you had seen a little bit of success with, a couple of the apps that I just mentioned a little while ago when I said I made a really, a Facebook reel that I'm really fond of right now, and I used Vinkle or Tempo. And so you introduced me to a couple of video editing apps that you had seen or had gotten some success from using those. And so you kind of suggested and kind of led me down that path to find out if that would help me to get some more views. And so I started
All right.
using those, but you know, I'm like, it really wasn't happening all at once. It really wasn't. It was slow, and I wasn't
Yeah,
totally on board. But you
of
kept
course.
urging me. You kept on urging me, and I made
It's like
this one, and I copied virtually the same hashtags and then the same key tags to try to mimic your success. And there is one YouTube short that I did that got over, I think it's now
it's
46,000
right. And
views.
on that one day, it hit 40,000. I remember that. So I mean, so it literally is with YouTube Shorts. That's the reason why I've liked YouTube essentially better than any other platform with the shorts, with the short the video format, right? Is once you learn the algorithm, yeah, it's not guaranteed, but you're going to do well. I mean, on no other platform can you really say that on TikTok,
Yeah,
IG, you know.
because
But
the
once you
others, the
learn
algorithm
the
changes and
algorithm where
fluctuates
you
so
put,
much.
yeah, where you put in the right title and the hashtags with the title and the right description and the right tags, then you're on the right path, and you just have to be patient, and then you'll see that your shorts will get 1,000 views, maybe just or maybe less, but you're gonna get a lot of views.
Hmm. Yeah. So after
And
that YouTube video had gotten me over 46,000 views, I'm like, okay, all right. So that works, and I had had some success with Facebook Reels and moderate success with YouTube Shorts before then. In fact, on one of my Facebook Reels, I think I hit 54,000 views, but I hadn't had that sort of success with YouTube Shorts until then, and so it really kind of, it made me see it in a different light. And although it doesn't happen every single time, there has been some consistent views with modeling for the most part that same pattern. So
right,
it's a it. I'm pretty pleased with it. Within 3 months of that brand new YouTube channel, I've got over I think right now today I've got 308 subscribers, and I've shared it on Facebook on a couple of posts where I've had people comment on my YouTube Shorts, like
in a positive
yesterday.
way, yeah.
Exactly. It just hugely, just really positive comments. Like the one yesterday that I shared on Facebook, it reads, "Your videos always bring me a smile," and so it's gratifying,
Right.
that something like
Absolutely.
someone would want to leave a message like that. It really helps when you're creating content. If you read a comment like that, it really is gratifying and makes you feel like what you're doing,
Right. I
has made a
mean,
difference or an impact.
sometimes when you create something and you post it, you're really not sure exactly how many people are actually viewing it and appreciating it. And so when you receive a comment like that, right? I mean, it is gratifying, and it makes it worth the while.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. So it was really good to see that. And so I'm happy with what I'm doing here because again, it's when you're doing any sort of digital marketing, content creation, if you can see progress, any progress, because Alwi has talked about celebrating wins, no matter how small they may be. And I think that's
Right.
important. I think
It
it's
is
really
important.
important.
Absolutely. I
So,
mean, because if you don't celebrate the small wins, then sometimes you won't even recognize the big ones, because the small ones will amass to a big one.
right, they do, and if you celebrate the small ones, then when there is a bigger one, you can kind of still gauge, your feelings and maybe your progress a little bit better because when you celebrate something, it makes a bigger imprint on your brain. Whereas if you don't celebrate it, how are you going to really have that as a memory if you're not celebrating it? It's kind of like when how our brain works. You may not always remember what someone says to you, the exact words, but you remember how their words or what they said made you feel. That's the memory. And I think that's what happens when we celebrate something is that it helps us, have a better memory of what we're celebrating. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Becomes
Yeah.
ingrained.
Yeah. It's a better memory, and our brain will have it, in some sort of compartment that we can unlock later or what have you. But what are some
Right. So,
wins on your front, or whether they be big or small? Can you talk to us a little bit about what you may be seeing? There
right.
you
Well, I mean,
go. Is a
I hit
follower
the
of
over.
yours?
I'm not sure. I hit 500 views on YouTube a couple days ago, which was a
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
feat. Um, and this has been such a great. It's almost indescribable, the journey that this has taken us on. This online business industry and being in the affiliate marketing. When when there we go. You look kind of small there.
I am, yeah. I look up to you.
So I was explaining to somebody today, what a mentorship has meant has meant to me, and the best way that I could really kind of explain it to this person, Jared, was that you remember growing up when we were learning to drive. Our dad he was a really good dad, but there are times he was impatient, and when he was impatient, he could be a little intimidating, especially when he got upset. He didn't yell at us, but it was just that look that he had, right? And
Right.
you didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
get him upset, and you certainly didn't want to get him irritated. So when it came time to learn how to drive. Back then, we still had the driver's education in high school that we went to, but we still went with dad, and he taught us how to drive, in the car. And man, I remember being so nervous and so scared of learning how to drive, number one, and number two, having him teach us because of worrying about how maybe I would upset him or get him impatient, because of my driving, this or the lack of skill set I had so far, because we were inexperienced, we were just learning brand new. And when you're brand new coming into something, you're going to be worried and you're going to be leery. So when someone hands you the keys to the car, you don't just go drive the car. You need someone to teach you how to drive that car,
Exactly.
and that there are some things in life where we can learn on our own, but there are other things if we're taught by somebody who's been there before and give us some loving, and careful strategies and instructions, then we're going to learn how to drive a lot easier. And that's what dad did. I was so surprised, because he was actually pretty patient, and he did give some very good instruction on how to drive. We didn't have GPSs back then, but literally nowadays, you could say, look, our mentor is giving us exact strategies and instructions on how to proceed, mapped out plan, so to speak, with even GPS coordinates to
Mm-hmm.
succeed.
That's a great analogy. It's a very good analogy because even if let me take this off so I can see. I'll put it on the. Here we go, so we can see both of us again. But it's a great
Yeah.
analogy because especially nowadays, Hoitsutaga, it we we have our phones with us, and we don't have to use like a Garmin, so to speak. We can use Google Maps on our phone, and if we don't know how to get somewhere, we can use our mobile phone and go through Google Maps, and it's going to show us how to get there. And it seems simple because we've used that so many times. We use it nearly on a daily basis, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
we almost take it for granted
Oh,
because
absolutely. I mean, young children these days probably don't even know how to read a map per se or use
right.
a compass because
Uh-huh.
they've had the Google. Google app on their phones, be it an Android or iPhone. So
It's exactly right. And so technology is great that way. But to use that analogy is that if you're trying to build something, it's better to follow the success of someone who's built it already successfully. It's proven, and if you follow that, it works better. Now, obviously, you put your own spin on it a little bit because we have different. Everybody has different personalities. Even twins have different personalities. They're not totally identical personalities, although similar. We both have great senses of humor, but the ingredients are going to be fairly simple. The ingredients are going to be, you have to add the ingredients. And of course, with what he's shown us, he's given us the ingredients, and then we may add our own vibe because of our personalities. But if if you're not adding one of the ingredients from his proven plan, then it's you deviate, and then you're not going to have that success. And so it's really meant so much to me to have his guidance and to have that blueprint or map, so that I feel more confident in regards to which direction to go, in regards to continue and have progress or success. It's been just it's been fantastic. It really is. He's very a genuine person. Um, you, he cares. It's not insincere, um, and he responds virtually in a flash. He'll respond to a message if you have a question. I've never been left hanging. I don't know about you. Probably you've had the same experience too. Is that he always answers
right.
questions? Yeah,
Yeah, he's very responsive. He's very responsive. Absolutely, I agree with that. So
absolutely.
how? Yeah. So if you're viewing this, remember, drop a comment, hashtag live, or if you're watching this after we've gone live, drop the comment, hashtag replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from, what your connection is to us or to the online business industry or affiliate marketing. And if you had any connection in any way to any of what I just mentioned.
Absolutely, yeah. So drop a comment in general, but drop a comment if you do know Ollie. Um, Drop a comment if you already know Jeff or if you're already connected with me. But please drop a comment, because if you drop a comment, it helps us with what we're doing. Helps the algorithm know that what we're doing is making people, or not really making, but it's prompting you to watch because you're interested. And the more people that are interested, it becomes more visible. So it certainly helps us. And, we do this because we really enjoy it. But we're honestly not only enjoying it, but we want to help people. So that's really our end game, is we want to help people. There are people that are struggling. There are people that don't have that same blueprint or map and that we've been given, and we want to help people. So please drop a
Right.
comment. Don't be stingy.
Never. I mean, we're in a recession right now. I mean, no doubt about it. And so, right now, times are hard. You have to find a way to create a secondary source of income. You know, and we've been trained, wired, so to speak, Jared, raised to clock in, clock out, work, 8 to 10 hours in a shift, and put as many hours in as we possibly can, work overtime, and that's just been the
That's
way,
right.
So it's been hard for people just to accept the fact that yes, there are some legitimate ways to make money online through a program. Look who just dropped a comment, Jared.
Oh, really? Okay, let me bring it up. Oh, there's your wife.
My wife.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, it's dope. Much love, Mimi. Much love.
Right, and so it's a little difficult for people to grasp the fact that there are legitimate ways to make money online, and affiliate marketing is legitimate. It's a $12 billion industry, right? And yes, there are some programs out there, some people online, just like there always have been online, that have given affiliate marketing a bad name, and but
You
it
you find
is a
that in
legitimate
any
way to make
industry,
money.
though. Absolutely, yeah,
Right.
and you'll find that in
Especially
any
especially
industry.
online. I
Hmm.
mean, I've been conned and scammed, from cryptocurrency programs or people promoting crypto. I've lost thousands of, I lost thousands of dollars on crypto. So anytime someone mentions crypto, I tell them as politely as I possibly can, I'm not interested. Sorry, I know there are a lot of people out there that make a lot of money on crypto, but I just can't. I can't predict with crypto. I can't control it, and the fact of the matter is when you reach a program such as the one that we've been introduced to, and a lot of other people have been introduced to other programs online with affiliate marketing, uh, you can make some money with legitimate programs with a
Hmm.
legitimate mentor who's been there before, and you have to work at it. It's not a get rich sort of
No,
quick scheme. You have to put in your 1 to 3 hours a day. You have to have dedication and ambition, drive to succeed and believe in it. Consistency is key, but it'll pay
definitely
off.
consistency. I like that because you can learn a lot about that about being successful if you have consistency, but especially in this industry with affiliate marketing because you're promoting yourself and you have to come across as authentic. And if you're not consistent and you're only doing it once a month or every 3 weeks or whatever, then you may not only promote yourself well, but you may not come across as authentic because if you're really
Right.
doing this, but only once in a while, then you're not going to come across as authentic. So the
Right.
consistency
Transparency and
really helps.
authenticity are key.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So
I totally
let
agree.
me ask you this, Jared. You started doing these live broadcast shows while we were doing kidney donor advocacy a lot earlier than I did, right?
Hmm.
But what enabled you to gain the courage or the bravery to do this, and what gives you the courage or that bravery to continue doing this as comfortably as you do?
As far as being on the camera, I mean, uh, it's something I was an actor in high school. I was in drama and I did plays, and we may have a little bit of our dad's personality that way, where we can be, we can be charismatic, we can be humorous, we can make people laugh, we can make people smile, and so I've always liked to be in front of a crowd. Ever since like we were in Boy Scouts, if you remember, and we were going up to and when we were palling around with Scott Porter, Brian Hess, and everyone else, it
I
was just
know.
good to be, in front of people, and then if
Oh,
I said something funny, you know, um, and made them laugh, it made me feel like I was accepted, But anyway, just gratifying, and I just always thrived on it. And then being on a stage in high school, and then when I got back in my early 20s, I did some plays for my old drama teacher from high school that he was doing outside of high school, and and actually side note, this and I can't remember the name of the play right now, but one of those plays that I did for my drama teacher from high school in my early 20s, R.J. Peterson was in that play with me.
Really?
Or not
Man, that's
RJ.
some
Yeah, RJ,
geeks.
Rusty. Right, Rusty. You
Rusty.
know what I mean? We know him from
I
Rusty,
know
but
you,
on
man.
Facebook,
I
he's
know.
yeah. On Facebook,
Yeah.
it's he has RJ there, but but yeah, he was going by Rusty back then, and so that was really. I mean, we had. I know this is like kind of a sidetrack because I'm getting off, and I do that a lot, but um, I actually got to know him really well from having done that play, and that's again another tangent, and I don't want to go off the rails, but I've always thrived and I've always liked being in front of people, and I knew that I could do it in the beginning because if you remember when we first started going live, we did it for Barb, and there were some technical issues. Remember, most of it is because of she wasn't sure how to do it. Some of it was the her phone. You know what I mean? It was just difficult to get her to go on, right?
Some of
But
these some of
look,
these online techie things just are not for other people. I mean, they're
right? Not everybody, I get it. All right, and things come a little bit more easily for me or to me when it comes to laptops, mobile phones, and
right.
I
You're more inclined to pick up
yeah, I
on
pick it up
things
and I
than
understand
someone.
it a lot
Yeah.
more easily. But anyway, my point is, you remember, is that because I couldn't bring her on, and that I went live thinking I could just add her and she'd come on, but she never did. And
So you had to ad
I
lib
just,
and go
I yeah,
impromptu the whole time.
right. And you
Winging
remember, and
it.
and and do you remember what you thought? You're like, man, I can't believe you're doing this for an hour, and I just kept on just kind of talking and improvising and just kind of um, talking about random stuff and just kind of staying on. I was on there for maybe at least an hour. It could have been only 45 minutes, but at least an hour. And we had thousands of views. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm
Well,
thinking to myself,
back then on
the
Facebook, it was a
algorithm
lot
was
easier
different. Right.
to get views.
Right. The algorithm was different, but nonetheless, we were getting thousands of views, and I just knew that I could, I knew that I was a little bit raw. It wasn't totally smooth, but I knew that I could do that, and the more I did it, and because I was
More
doing it,
comfortable you
I
get, huh?
did right. And in the beginning, although it did come across in many instances, and I did it, for 45 minutes to an hour, so on and so forth. It used to be kind of like when I go on stage when I was doing those plays, is that I used to get really nervous, but I don't anymore. It's because, again, I've done it repeatedly and
Exposure,
repeatedly.
right.
Yeah,
And
I
repetition dictate you'll get fluid with it. And
exactly.
so,
And
do
so,
you remember? Incidentally, do you remember in high school how at the end of the year when classes got a little mundane and boring, how we used to change out our classes and go to each other's classes?
yeah, yeah, we did. Yeah.
I,
Uh,
it was my English teacher that wrote
it was. It was it was
in
Mr.
your school
Garner. Mr.
yearbook, right?
Garner. Yeah, Mr. Garner.
So
I think his name was Jeff Garner, but anyway, Mr. Garner, and coincidentally, he actually is from Hooper, where I live now. But obviously, back then,
are you serious? Have you
yeah,
bumped into him?
I haven't, no, but yeah, my wife knows his mother who passed away years ago. But yeah, my wife knows his family and knows him, but I haven't seen him while I've lived here in Hooper. But yeah, he's from Hooper.
Right.
It's funny.
So Jared and I, we used to change out our classes, just because at the end of the school year, classes got mundane and boring, and just to like kind of spice things up, we used to trade classes, and we didn't
Yeah,
think anybody realized or anybody knew, and
no.
especially our teachers,
Hmm.
And so go ahead and tell the viewers what my English teacher, Mr. Gardner, what he wrote in your school yearbook.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said is that it we just we just presume, honestly, that he had no idea, and that he was totally clueless about our switch or switching. And so we kept on doing it and thinking, okay, we could continue to fool him. And it was,
And everybody
and
else
I
in the
don't remember how many
classrooms. Yeah.
times. Right. And I think we may have told maybe a couple people, but for the most part, it was hush hush. And I love English, and it was one of the subjects that I still enjoy, and I enjoyed then. And so I didn't mind going to English. And so we did it. And then at the end of the year, our senior year, I asked, he was a cool dude. And I always thought
Right.
he was funny, and he was entertaining. And so I had him sign my yearbook. And in my yearbook, he wrote, and I I don't remember it totally verbatim, but it was more or less something like, "It was nice having the both of you in my class this year." And then I think he even drew like little, the two dots and a
Smiley face.
smile, right? Smiley face, right? And I thought, wow, it just kind of impressed me that I don't know, you just kind of most for the most part, you kind of presume that if it if a teacher finds out about something like that they're going to tell, or they're going to,
Right.
yeah, you know what I mean? And I just thought it was kind of
Apparently
cool.
he didn't mind because
Right.
we weren't troublemakers,
We
and
really
you
weren't.
know
No. He
I guess if
probably,
you were
yeah.
loud, obnoxious, causing trouble, then he would have probably taken you aside. Let me have a word with you, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if there would have been if we would have like been disruptive, or or caused a ruckus, then maybe he would have told the principal or something. But anyway, yeah. So pretty cool that he did that and put that in the yearbook. And you know, there was I'm trying to think of some other things we could talk about that are maybe somewhat twin
Well,
related. So
there was another twin story, if you don't mind me telling this one. This
yeah.
is pretty funny, and I don't remember this one. It's just one that I remember Dad telling people because it was funny. When we lived in Boise, Idaho, when we were like, you know,
4 or 5,
ages
yeah.
up till we were 5, we lived there, right? Uh, and we would go visit, I guess, on the weekend sometimes. Our uncle Al, our dad's brother and his family, and it
Okay,
would
yeah,
be
I
on
remember the
Sunday.
story.
On Sunday, and I remember he had all kinds of apple trees in his backyard. I do remember that, and
Yeah.
I guess is we would go and pluck the apples off his apple tree, the ones that were within reach, and just drop them on the ground. They would spoil. And so he took Dad aside as soon as we arrived on this particular Sunday, and he said, "Dale, please make sure those boys, those twins, don't pick up any of those apples and pluck them off the apple tree."
So we didn't pluck them. We didn't pluck them, right?
No, we didn't pluck them. We got home, and Uncle Al calls, "Dale, you wouldn't believe what them twins did." And Dad's like, "What'd they do, Al?" "Well, they didn't pluck those apples off the apple tree, but you could see a bite out of every apple that they could reach."
Yeah, so we didn't do it. We just nibbled on them, right? We didn't pluck them. We were we were being obedient. We did just like you asked. We didn't take the apples down.
I guess you could just see like
Right,
a
little
little
bite
bite,
marks.
little
Yeah.
boy bite.
Yeah, I remember going to Uncle Al's and his wife Dorothy and their little fluffy dog. What was it? Starts with a T. The breed of dog they had. But anyway, good people, and every once in a while, his son was there, with Alfred Jr., but they called him Lil
I
Al.
call him
He didn't
Little
like that.
Al. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Because that name will stick with him. It stuck with him for
Right.
ages. Even after
Yeah.
Uncle Al died, he was still Little Al.
Use a term that our dad used to say. If I had my druthers, I would probably go with Junior. instead of little, because again, it's the mind thing, right? If you always hear little, it's almost disparaging, like you're just a smaller version,
You're just a
or
little person, and
you know what I mean,
there's no
right?
way
Or
you're going to mount to anything big.
right, yeah. So it must play with your mind when you hear that all the time. So I get it.
Hey, Jared,
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure, buddy.
for real,
I got to
bro.
bolt.
Yeah.
It's past 11 here now. You got to get
All
up
right,
early.
man. Yeah, it's been fun, man. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you soon because we'll be getting together with a Zoom call later. Thank you.
Gotcha. Later,
Hey, God
brother.
bless you and Mimi. Bye
Ciao.
bye. All right, so you've heard from me and my twin brother, okay, with the Brown brothers, Jared A. Brown, and my twin brother is Jeff Brown. All right, and so this is kind of our story. We've done this on TikTok. We've gone live on TikTok and introduced ourselves and talked about how we're twins and what it means to be a twin and some of our stories in regards to being twins. And if you like what you've heard, please drop a comment. If you if you are a twin or you know other twins, drop a comment. But please hit the subscribe button. All right, please don't hesitate. Hit that subscribe button, share, like, and comment, and show us some love. All right. Please don't be stingy. All right. Thank you. God bless. I'm out. Peace.